back on tonight's CHS Refinery McPherson pregame show, getting ready for the Bullpups to take on the Ulysses Tigers. Final game of the day, game number 4, day number 2, as the Bullpups are in the semifinals, and a date to the championship game of the Mid America Classic tomorrow night with the Olathe South Falcons. Jim Joyner, and joined by McPherson boys coach Kurt Kinnamon. A nice crowd in here tonight. Good to see this crowd come out. Last night, that Thursday night's always weird. You talk about the Thursday night games, but tonight we've got a good crowd in here.
Really nice crowd. Looks like the student section has Hawaiian night going on, and it's good to see some of the boys basketball players participating in that. And so,
do you approve of Jace's outfit over there?
Well, I guess it meets the school dress code standards, so that's fine.
The Bullpups come into this game at 9-1. They've won 7 consecutive games, and Ulysses also comes in at 9-1 as they picked up a nice win yesterday over Dodge City. They did not score a ton of points, really. They didn't score many points at all. They won 29-24 against their rivals from out west. They are 9-1 entering this tournament, and one thing I talked about with Coach Strathman a couple minutes ago was saying that this team is 9-1 for a reason, because they have been able to find ways to win games. When they've been here in the past, the recent couple years, they haven't been very good at finishing down the stretch. But something has turned around with this team this year. They are winning games, and that's what poses a threat, especially because this is a team that will play a lot of zone, and they've got the big 6'2" center Riley Ogilvie inside, and she had 5 blocked shots last night against Dodge City.
6'2" is like, as a girls player, is like having 6'10" as a boys player, so she could be a factor.
Bullpup starters from top of this one as they will wear their white jerseys, red numbers. The Bullpups on the bench to our left in their normal home spot. Starting off with Emma Ruddle, a 5'8" junior, averaging just under 9 points per game. 4 rebounds per game for Emma Ruddle. She had 5 points last night in the win over Wichita Southeast. Second is Hannah Hageman, a 5'9" senior, averaging just under 7 points per game and 5 rebounds per 6 points last night, and then 3 points against these Ulysses Tigers a season ago as the Bullpups beat them 59-22. Third is Lakin Schieferecke, led the Bullpups last night with 10 points, right on her average, and she is averaging almost 3 assists per game as well this season, 3.3 rebounds per game as well, and her last 4 games have been very good. Last 5 games have been very good. 21, 9, 10, 9, and 10 for Lakin Schieferecke. Fourth will be Riley Hett, 5'6" senior, averaging 6 points per game, 3 rebounds per game, and she had one of her best games of the season so far with 8 points last night and the game's first 2 3-pointers. And finally, Maggie Leaf, a 5'10" senior, one of her better games as well this season last night, averaging 5 points per game, 5 rebounds per, and scored 8 against Wichita Southeast last night. Those are the 5 starters for the McPherson girls. Coach Kinnamon, what are some of the strengths that you see with this McPherson team being an outsider?
We already talked about it, Jim. I think the number one thing is the balance. Their ability, they can play fast. They shoot the ball well. They have good size on the interior. So they're just a very well-rounded team. And to be quite honest, Coach Strathman and his staff do an outstanding job. And so generally I think that we're going to always have an advantage from the coaching staff standpoint as well with the girls basketball team. One thing I noticed, Jim, is the Ulysses girls have JK there on the side of their jerseys. All those, I'm assuming, are in memory of Jason Kinney, the football coach who died tragically earlier this season. So certainly they're playing maybe with a heavy heart and maybe have something extra to play for. So that's kind of a neat thing to see that the girls team putting in that tribute to Coach Kinney.
Coach Kinnamon, let's take a look at our keys to the game tonight, presented by Alliance Agency, Inc., located on the 2nd floor of the Warren Place for complete insurance services. Your keys to tonight's game with the Ulysses Tigers.
I think anytime a team has a shot blocker inside, you have to attack that shot blocker. You can't just abandon the inside game. So I think it's going to be important to the Bullpups to maybe beat them down the floor and get easy shots, or in the half court, take it right at her and don't be afraid to.
Our first half start is brought to you by the Community Foot Clinic, serving Central Kansas with comprehensive foot care since 1998 as the Ulysses Tigers in their road black uniforms, orange jerseys, or orange numbers and orange lettering. They win the opening tip with 6'2" Riley Ogilvie, Alyssa Casieja, Madison Haney, Riley Ogilvie, Luz Gomez, and Gina Ballesteros, the 5 starters for the Tigers. Madison Haney immediately dumps a pass down low to the left block for Riley Ogilvie, who bobbles the basketball and passes back out to the perimeter. Riley Hett with a hand on it, knocks it out of bounds. Emma Ruddle, as well as Hannah Hageman, Lakin Schieferecke, Riley Hett, and Maggie Leaf, the 5 starters for McPherson. Alyssa Casieja will dribble the basketball toward the top of the circle. She's being defended by Lakin Schieferecke. Team's leader in assists this season with 5 per game. This is a Ulysses team that came in scoring 50 points per game. Castilleja pulls the trigger from 3 over on the right wing and banks it home. Missed it off to the right side as she connects there, and Ulysses takes an early 3-0 lead.
I'm not sure she called glass on that, Jim, but it went in.
Lakin Schieferecke tries to match her on the other end with a three-pointer, and that's no good. Ulysses will play a lot of 2-3 zone in this game here tonight. All the way up the floor, they try to dump a pass into the lane for Riley Ogilvie. Had her hand on it for a moment, hits off her knee, and goes out of bounds, and back to the Bullpups.
Bullpups doing a good job with their interior defense, making it difficult to make the post-entry pass.
And Maggie Leaf, although she is only 5'10", she really plays a much bigger and more physical game than your average 5'10" center. Riley Hett in the left corner. They find her through this 2-3 zone. Back to the right block, Maggie Leaf draws 2 defenders. They'll kick it back out up top, Schieferecke. Back to the left corner. Riley Hett, a 3 is good. The Bullpups know they're going to have to shoot the 3 well tonight. And Riley Hett for the second consecutive game as the game's first basket.
Bullpups coming out in their patented J221 zone press.
Quickly, Ulysses will break the pressure up the floor for Madison Haney, who had some really good games here in McPherson last season. She misses a 3. Rebound, Emma Ruddle to the other end. She gets her shot blocked by Riley Ogilvie. That's her first of the night, 6th of the weekend. Alyssa Castilleja picked up by Lakin Schieferecke at the top of the circle. Drives and kicks to the left corner for Gina Ballesteros. She'll pull the trigger from 3. That one's short. Nice defense and a closeout there for Riley Hett. She grabs the rebound.
Can't think that Coach Tim Hoffberger's very pleased about the early shot selection by the Tigers.
Lakin Schieferecke and the Bullpups attacking the basket to our right. 2 minutes in, 3-3 the score. Riley Hett on the right wing, zips a pass to a wide-open Maggie Leaf on the backside and switches to her left and scores. Great vision there by Riley Hett to find her on the left block, and the Bullpups take a 5-3 lead.
Good job by Riley Hett throwing the diagonal pass. It's really not a 2-3 zone, Jim. It's some sort of hybrid with almost a 1-3-1 zone.
Gina Ballesteros will shoot another three-pointer on the other end for the Tigers, and a rebound by Lakin Schieferecke off the miss. Schieferecke dribbling in, kicking out to the left corner. Riley Hett open for 3 again. This time it's missed a little short. The long rebound will go out of bounds off of Emma Ruddle, last they'll say, and back to the Tigers.
First time the Bullpups came out in the press, or Lady Bullpups came out in the press, they were able to get them sped up. Now they've gone to a 1-2-1-1 half full-court zone press.
Luz Gomez, the inbounder, gets the basketball back. Ballesteros with a left-handed pass, zips it over here to the wing. Madison Haney will pull a three-pointer again. This one's no good, nearly knocked out of bounds on the far sideline. And they will say that Ballesteros stepped on the line, tracking down the loose shot. Ulysses, 1 out of 5 from 3 here early on. Those are all of their shots.
Well, Jim, a lot of times the press isn't exactly designed to steal the ball, but to get them sped up. And they've taken 3 quick three-pointers against our pressure.
3 minutes in, 5-3 McPherson. Lakin Schieferecke's pass into the right corner for Emma Ruddle is caught. She'll swing the pass back to Schieferecke. Pulls up from 12 feet left side. This one rims it and out, but an offensive rebound by Maggie Leaf. They'll go back to Hannah Hageman on the short corner on the right baseline. Long pass into the left corner. Schieferecke, a 3, no good. Another rebound on the offensive glass by Maggie Leaf. Back out to the right wing for Riley Hett. Bullpups dominating the glass here early on. Hageman pumps. Floater off the backboard, no. Another offensive rebound by Maggie Leaf. They'll go back to the left corner. Schieferecke stepping in, floater in the lane is good. What a possession by the Bullpups, and Maggie Leaf outsized by 5 inches, able to work her tail off down low and keep grabbing the offensive board.
Really good job by the Bullpups, and you cannot give a team as good as McPherson 5 shots at the basket.
Alyssa Castilleja, there's a three-pointer. This one nearly an air ball as it catches the bottom side of the rim, and a rebound for Emma Ruddle, trying to race everybody to the other end. Hesitates at the three-point line. Back to Riley Hett. Out of the top, Hannah Hageman thought about a 3. She's shooting 17 of 33 from the three-point line this season. Hageman gives it off to Lakin Schieferecke, who gets stripped from behind. Madison Haney with a steal. Dribbling into a 1-on-2. Haney nearly fouled at the rim. Nice defense, though, by Lakin Schieferecke the rest of the floor. Riley Hett also involved in a rebound for McPherson. Haney stays down, and now the officials will come back and tend to Madison Haney, who was down on the baseline to our left. 7-3 McPherson, 3:37 left to go in the first quarter.
Yeah, she's got that heavy knee brace on, but it looks like she's holding her chin almost. Looks like maybe she got a tooth knocked out. Loose. Got a loose tooth, and that's very painful. You know, she's got it in her hand right there, and hopefully we have a dentist who is handy and can help with that situation and save that tooth, hopefully.
How about Dr. Ken Cotton, DDS, one of our sponsors?
Well, he would be a perfect person to come down and take a look at the young lady. We got Alex Brooks down there right now, and what do they say? You need to put that in milk? Is that what I heard before, or is that an old wives' tale?
I don't know. It's not my tale. I don't know if you'll remember this, but when we were doing the Olathe South game last year in this same round, there was an Olathe South player that lost her tooth as well. So maybe you're the tooth fairy or something.
I don't know. I remember the worst thing that I ever saw, Jim, was the late John Watkins, his daughter Paige. She went down right in front of the McPherson bench one time, went down face first, and we went out after the game and looked, and you could see where her two teeth had gone into the roundhouse floor. And it ended up shearing Paige's teeth off, and that was the worst tooth injury that I've ever seen in the roundhouse.
Well, we'll see how the Tigers respond after that one. Madison Haney will have to sit on the bench for a couple of minutes here as they try to figure out what to do with her missing teeth. 3:37 left to go in the first quarter. McPherson 7 and Ulysses 3. A couple of subs will check in, 3 of them actually. Cassidy Beam, Andrea Sweat, and Grace Pyle. All 3 of them played very well last night in the win over Wichita Southeast. Grace Pyle immediately tries a 3 from the left wing and knocks it down. She's got a whole lot of bend in her, Coach Kinnamon, and she's able to really shoot it with confidence.
She did. She stepped up and knocked it in. No hesitation right off the bench. So, they were daring her to shoot it, and she knocked it in on them.
That's her 10th three-pointer of the season. The Bullpups knock a pass out of bounds in the pressure. Ulysses on the end to our left. Ogilvie tries to slip a pass into the lane, trying to find Clara Garcia, who just checked in. They will say ball knocks out of bounds off of McPherson last. Ulysses will have it underneath. 10-3 McPherson, 3:16 left to go in the opening quarter. Alyssa Cassieha inbounds to the left block for Riley Ogilvie. Nice play there as they get it to her. She catches it, doesn't even have to bring the ball down to the floor, and scores off the window. That's her first basket.
That's what I'd call getting scored on despite the scouting report. We should have known that inbounds play, and I'm sure we did. And you can't give up a play that you're familiar with.
Schieferecke with a pass to Grace Pyle, who cuts to the rim. Her floater's no good. Another offensive rebound by Maggie Leaf. That is her 4th so far here tonight. Lakin Schieferecke passes to the baseline. Andrea Sweat whipping around, back to Grace Pyle, finishes at the rim. Great vision by Andrea Sweat. She drew all the defense to her and dumped it off to Grace Pyle. What a great cut by her, too.
Fantastic cut by Grace. And right now the Bullpups have them all sped up. Ulysses coming, it's a straight 1-3-1 zone, and they have their shortest player playing the bottom of the 1-3-1 zone, and consequently they're not able to rebound out of it, and Bullpups just dominating the offensive glass right now.
Cassie Cooks will sub into the game for Maggie Leaf. Yeah, you look at the offensive rebound numbers. The Bullpups with 3 of them. They're out-rebounding Ulysses 8-3.
Now we're straight 2-3 zone.
Lakin Schieferecke over on the left wing, facing that 2-3 zone, passes up top for Grace Pyle. Right corner, Cassidy Beam. Head and shoulder fake goes back out to the perimeter. Andrea Sweat feeling the trapping defense by Alyssa Castillejon. Now they'll reset. 2:10 left to go, opening quarter. McPherson 12, Ulysses 5. Grace Pyle passes back to the top for Lakin Schieferecke. Cassidy Beam back in the corner. Bullpups trying to figure out this zone on the go right here. Schieferecke dribbles down the right side, dumps a pass down low for Andrea Sweat. Had her for a moment. Ball bouncing around. Cassie Cooks gets on the deck, and she'll grab it. They'll go to the possession arrow, and the Bullpups will have it on the jump ball. Cassie Cooks was not in position to grab that ball, but like you always say, first person on the floor usually wins.
Did a good job getting on the floor to maintain that possession.
Lakin Schieferecke lobs the inbound play into the lane for Andrea Sweat, maybe a little too tall, and she loses it. Taken away by Alyssa Castillejon. Drives in, and a big block by Grace Pyle. It hits off of Castillejon last, and back to McPherson.
Good job by Grace Pyle, playing with a lot of enthusiasm. Had to take the band out of her hair, and now she's ready to go.
She plays with a lot of fire, and you see it here early on in this game as the Bullpups lead by 7. She'll skip a pass to Cassidy Beam. They'll go back to Grace on the right wing. Thought about a 3. Feels 3 defenders close in. Finds an open. Cassidy Beam for 3. And nothing but the bottom of the net. McPherson leads at 15-5. Cassidy Beam knocking down her 6th three-pointer of the season.
Great find by Grace. Nice shot by Cassidy. And steal now by Schieferecke ahead to Pyle.
Grace Pyle jumps it off. Cassidy Beam just can't finish. Sweat tried to tip the rebound out after the steal by Lakin Schieferecke, and Ulysses survives that time.
Looks like Diedrich Lawson trying to finish play for KU at the rim there for the Bullpups.
Three-pointer in the corner for Ulysses is Clara Garcia, and she can't grab that one. Yeah, Diedrich Lawson, they're going to need him tomorrow as they'll take on the University of Kentucky. I know you'll try and not see the score for that one until a little bit later.
Yep.
Pass is taken away by Ulysses, dribbling to the other end. Gina Ballesteros, left side on the easy layup is good. That makes it 15-7. 40 seconds left to go in the opening quarter.
Probably look for Coach Strathman to play for one shot here.
Lakin Schieferecke, who has played the entire first quarter, will bring the basketball in the end to our right. Andrea Sweat, Cassidy Beam, Grace Pyle, and Cassie Cooks, the five on the floor. Grace Pyle dribbles in, skips a pass to the left wing. Lakin Schieferecke sees the clock is at 20 seconds. Gives it off Andrea Sweat. We'll see if they hold for one here. Now down to 15 seconds.
At this point in time, they should hold for one shot, and they're going to probably run some sort of action with Schieferecke on a zipper cut.
Get it back to Beam. Grace Pyle flares a pass into the left corner. Schieferecke, a three-pointer with 1 second left in the corner. That one's no good as it is left a little bit short. And at the end of the first quarter, McPherson leads Ulysses 15-7. The Bullpups hold the Tigers to just 3 out of 11 from the field, and the Bullpups lead by 8 entering quarter number 2. We're back in 30 seconds listening to Bullpup basketball on 96.7 FM KBBE. Start of the second quarter from inside the Roundhouse. Jim Joyner and McPherson boys coach Kurt Kinnamon on 96.7 FM KBBE, or for those of you listening at midkansasonline.com. Bullpup basketball is brought to you by Jim LeDuc and Galen Shields of State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, Jim LeDuc and Galen Shields of State Farm are there. Also brought to you by Home State Bank, a part of the Citizen State Bank, with 3 locations in McPherson to serve you. 15-7, McPherson leads Ulysses at the end of the first 8 minutes, and as we take a look at the shooting numbers from the first quarter, McPherson 6 out of 16 from the field, 3 out of 7 from 3, while the Tigers 3 out of 11 from the field and 1 out of 7 from 3. Ulysses will have the basketball first.
Madison Haney is back in the game
after losing maybe one, maybe multiple teeth in the first quarter, and drives right to the hole and gets the roll and the foul and a chance at a three-point play. That's pretty tough for her to stay in this game.
That is pretty gutsy to drive it right to the basket despite losing the tooth and to get the goal. So give her credit for, that can't be easy.
Haney had 9 points for the Tigers yesterday against Dodge City in their win, and she completes a three-point play after actually getting her teeth knocked out the last time she was on the floor. Bullpups with the basketball for the first time here in the second quarter, leading 15-10. Emma Ruddle will try a three from the right wing. This one misses off to the left side, but there's an offensive rebound by Riley Hett. They are dominating the offensive glass. Left corner, Hannah Hageman. She'll try a three. That's no good, and there's a rebound for Ulysses and Gina Ballesteros. Just 40 seconds into this second quarter. Now Madison Haney will try a three and knocks it down. 6 quick points for Madison Haney, minus a tooth or two, and they've cut this lead to 2.
Seems to be inspired since going to the dentist.
Riley Hett passes to the right wing for J.C. Burghart. Played very well on the defensive end against Wichita Southeast last night. Into the lane, Cassie Cooks loses it for a moment, now taken away by Gina Ballesteros. Not the start that the Bullpups wanted here in quarter number 2 in terms of turning over the basketball. Melissa Castier being defended by Emma Ruddle. No Lakin Schieferecke on the floor. She'll sit out the opening minutes of this second quarter after playing the entire first quarter. Madison Haney now trying a contested three. This one way too strong, and a rebound off the brick.
They call that a heat check, Jim. She'd made the previous 2 baskets, and Bullpups right now need to do a better job of pass faking to get the basketball inside. Seems like we're telegraphing it a little bit, and Ulysses getting their hands on a lot of our passes.
They get this one knocked out of bounds on the baseline, and this one will stick with the Bullpups on the end to our right. 6:31 left to go in the first half. McPherson 15, Ulysses 13. Coach Kinnamon, you weren't here last night to see it, but the Bullpups turned it over 21 times, and that is a lot for this McPherson team. For some teams, it's not that many, but for a team that really handles the basketball as well as they do, it was a lot for them last night.
Yeah, 21 turnovers is a large number, Jim, and I know Coach Strathman couldn't have been pleased with that, so need to do a little better job taking care of the basketball.
One thing we haven't seen much of in this game are fouls, and there's the first one on the Tigers there. It'll be called on Luce Gomez. So 1 foul for each team with 6:24 left to go in the second quarter. Hageman thought about a three in the right corner, facing this zone defense. Ruddle in the lane, off the backboard, no. Nearly another offensive rebound, and it is for Maggie Leaf. That is her 5th offensive rebound. This ball's knocked out of bounds off of the Tigers, and will stick with McPherson in front of the Ulysses bench.
Tremendous job going to the offensive glass by Maggie.
And it's not like she has a big size advantage either. It's not like she's towering over everybody. They're all her size at 5'10".
Yeah.
Riley Hett passes here to the near side for Emma Ruddle. Hageman dribbles in, kicks it out. Riley had another deep look from 3. That one's no good. Rebound bouncing around on the floor, scooped out by Hannah Hageman. And Riley Hett wanted one more quick pass to Schieferecke, but just a little too strong and goes into the baseline back to Ulysses. Gina Ballesteros facing a triple team here in this pressure. Ulysses gets a nice pass up the floor into a 2-on-1 break. Luz Gomez driving the baseline right side, draws contact, and they will call a push on the floor. That's team foul number 2 on McPherson. Foul will be called on Maggie Leaf. 5:46 left to go in the second. That's Maggie's first. 15-13 McPherson. Gina Ballesteros will inbound all the way up to the top for Clara Garcia. She's picked up now by Schieferecke. 5 starters on the floor for McPherson. Ruddle denying a pass to come to Madison Haney, who had an and-one three-point play and then knocked down a 3 after coming back after getting her teeth knocked out. Clara Garcia passes back up top. Kristen Edwards, a 5'8" senior. Haven't seen much of her in her games here in McPherson. This is really the second game that she's played. Crazy shot in the lane by Clara Garcia. Way too strong off the backboard. There's a rebound by Hannah Hageman. Bullpups lead by 2. 5:10 left to go in the second quarter. And they have not scored yet here in the second quarter. Riley Hett receives a pass in the right corner. Gives it to Hannah Hageman. Pulls up from 10 feet. Leaves it a little short. She had a great look there on the open 2. And now Hannah Hageman will be called for a foul on the miss.
Good job on running a set play against that zone. That's a play that Coach Bill Self at KU put in years ago, and everybody's copied it. The Bullpups executed the play very well, just weren't able to put it in the basket.
Grace Pyle and Andrea Sweat will check into the game for Emma Ruddle and Hannah Hageman. 5:02 left to go in the second. Bullpups lead by 2. Alyssa Castilleja with a bounce pass on the baseline for Madison Haney. She throws a pass into the corner for Riley Ogilvie. Bullpup fans wanted to travel, and now the Tigers will reset.
It looked different, that's for sure. Hear their coach yelling triangle. They're running some form of the triangle offense Tex Winter made famous.
Shot on the three-point line by Gina Ballesteros is no good. There's a rebound for Grace Pyle. She had 10 rebounds last night for the Bullpups in the win over Wichita Southeast. We'll go back to Schieferecke on the left wing with a pump fake. Steps into the lane. High floater. Hits off the front iron. No. And there's a towering rebound by Riley Ogilvie. Nice box out on Maggie Lee. 4:20 left to go in the second quarter. Bullpups haven't scored in this frame. Now Haney an open 3 for the lead. No. Ogilvie grabbed the rebound for a moment. Diving to the floor. Keeps it alive for the Tigers. Ballesteros stepping in, and they will call a block or a reach. And that one will be called on Maggie Leaf for assisting on the defense there as Riley Hett was standing in front, and Leaf picks up her second.
Call made by Ricky Tucker there. One of the premier crews in the state of Kansas with John Kaufman, Ricky Tucker, and Rick O'Neill doing this game. I don't think you could ask for a better officiating crew.
You're trying to buy some brownie points here.
Well, hopefully they'll listen to this broadcast.
Madison Haney takes the inbound. She's being defended by Grace Pyle all the way up at the top of the circle, halfway through the second. McPherson leading by 2. Castilleja banks in her second 3 of the night, and she's got 6 points, and just like that, Ulysses leads by 1, and Coach Strathman and the Bullpups need a timeout. They'll take a full timeout. 3:54 left to go in the second, and Ulysses leads 16-15.
Nothing you can do about that, Jim. When somebody banks in not 1 but 2 3-pointers on you, it's a little disconcerting, because sometimes the ball just doesn't bounce your way, and as I said, it's when they bank in 2, Jim, you just have to tip your cap to them and come down and go to work on your own offensive end.
The Bullpups looked like they were in control in quarter number 1. They led by as many as 15-4, and then Ulysses scored 3 points right before the end of the quarter to make it 15-7. But since then, Ulysses 9, McPherson 0 in the second quarter, and the Tigers have the lead.
Well, the big difference on that, Jim, is, McPherson's shooting 27%, and we were getting offensive rebounds early, but we haven't been able to get to the offensive glass as well here of late, and 27%, sometimes it's tough to overcome 27% shooting, so we'll see what the Bullpups have. My guess is Coach Strathman will have a nice set. Ulysses comes out and traps out of the timeout.
Grace Pyle on the right wing. Looks like they're settling into some sort of 2-3 zone defense. Grace Pyle with a cross-court pass into the left corner for Lake and Schieferecke. Bullpups trying to answer, and Schieferecke's pass goes over the head of Grace Pyle and out of bounds. Another turnover on McPherson. That's their 5th.
Well, the Bullpups are going to have to do it on the defensive end and create some turnovers and get some easy baskets.
Now the Bullpups will show their pressure in the backcourt. Alyssa Castilleja gives it off to Luz Gomez, and now she nearly throws it out of bounds. Saved by the Tigers in the corner, Madison Haney. Pull-up shot from 15 on the baseline. It is good. Madison Haney with 8 points all in the second quarter, and all of that after losing a couple of teeth after hitting the floor. Ulysses leads by 3, 18-15. Bullpups trying to get on the board here in this second quarter. Bounce pass to Andrea Sweat, drives the baseline. This pass was intended for Cassie Cooks, but gets deflected out to the perimeter. Riley Hett dribbling in. Now back into the left corner, Andrea Sweat, high-arching 3. That one is short, and a rebound for Madison Haney and the Tigers. Here's Alyssa Castilleja dribbling in, pull-up from 12 feet off the backboard. This time it won't go in, and a rebound for Grace Pyle. Grace with her second board, leading the charge from left to right. Dribbling in, kicking out Lake and Schieferecke. Now back to Riley Hett, bobbles the pass from Schieferecke. Into the lane, Cassie Cooks going to work, draws contact off the backboard. It's no good, and Cassie Cooks will go to the free throw line for 2.
Good job of going inside by the Bullpups, getting it inside to Cassie, and her attacking a larger defender, and hopefully that'll lead to maybe some foul trouble. But first foul on Ogilvie.
Just the second team foul on Ulysses as Cassie Cooks knocks down the first. One spot in her game this year that she has really not been successful in, and that is the free throw line, but makes the first one there. Maybe sometimes you see that first one go in and you can knock down both. That's their first point of the second quarter, and Cassie knocks down both.
7-minute and 36-second drought for the Bullpups.
According to Steve Sella, now a turnover in the pressure. Cassidy Beam just checked into the game as well.
That's what the Bullpups need to do. Turn them over, get them sped up, and then convert on the offensive end.
Lake and Schieferecke inbounding on the baseline to our right. Bullpups trail by 1, 2:35 left to go second quarter. Grace Pyle to the top of the circle, Cassidy Beam. She's made 1 3. Back to Andrea Sweat. There's a 3. That one's short. No good. Saved by Lake and Schieferecke while diving nearly into the stands and picked up by Madison Haney and the Tigers. Haney trying to drive coast to coast, drew contact, and this will be a blocking foul on Cassidy Beam. Madison Haney going to the free throw line for 2.
You know, Madison Haney at 5'10", and she's 5'10", and she's strong. She goes to the basket, went right through the contact there. Lucky we didn't give up an and 1.
Haney this season averaging 9 points per game, 3 rebounds per earn. She's a 67% free throw shooter, knocks down the first. That brings her up to 9 points here tonight.
Already reached her season average.
Second one for Haney. This one will give Ulysses a 3-point lead, and it's good. 3 for 3 at the free throw line as well for Madison Haney, and the Bullpups trail by 3. 2:22 left to go in the second. And the Bullpups need some answers on their offensive end. Lake and Schieferecke picked up softly the length of the floor by Alyssa Castilleja. Here's Grace Pyle. Passes back to the right wing for Lake and Schieferecke. Andrea Sweat cut to the basket and was open, but Schieferecke bobbled the pass and didn't see her. Sweat in the right corner, another 3-point look. Again, it's short, and a rebound for Alyssa Castilleja. Out in front, running into 2-on-2. Castilleja dribbling in, floater off the backboard, no. Offensive rebound, Riley Ogilvie gets tied up with Andrea Sweat, and the possession arrow will be in favor of McPherson.
Going to go back to what I said earlier. The Bullpups have to keep continuing to get the basketball inside. Seems like, we're settling awfully quickly. Half our shots have been 3-point shots.
1:50 left to go here in this first half, and the Bullpups trail by 3. The winner of this game will take on Olathe South, who beat Manhattan earlier tonight, 62-21. Emma Ruddle drives down the right side, passes back into the corner for Hannah Hageman, and they will call a reach on Alyssa Castilleja, on Gina Ballesteros. That's her first. Team foul number 3. Bullpups will inbound right in front of the Tiger bench.
Man, it looks like that we're going to play it all the way through the first half without either team getting into the bonus. So the officials letting them play.
Grace Pyle pumps on a 3, gives it off Emma Ruddle. Ruddle skips a pass Schieferecke back to the left corner. Hageman will step into the 3. This one is short as well, and a rebound saved on the baseline by Riley Ogilvie, trying to get rid of it, and the Tigers will get a smart timeout there to avoid a 5-second call. Coach Kinnamon, you're seeing some of these 3-pointers here missing a little bit short. Is that just a rhythm thing? Is that them just not being able to get in sync here early on? They're just 3 out of 14. Is that sort of a thing that you see when one person misses a little short, it continues on, or is this just a little bit of bad bad luck?
Oh, I think a lot of it has to do with, Jim, is they're shooting it over length. You know, these girls are tall, and sometimes when you have to shoot it over length, you know, if you have to put it up a little higher than normal, it may tend to come up short. So, you know, the Tigers there really lucked into, they were about ready to turn the basketball over, and their coach saved them a possession there with a smart timeout.
Ulysses comes in at 9-1 into this game, just like McPherson, and we've seen why this is a team that could be 9-1, and now the Tigers turn it over and the pressure off the hand of Madison Haney right in front of the bullpup bench, and this is what they need to continue to do, is get turnovers, get the ball back on offense, because the shots are going to fall at some point here in this game.
Yeah, exactly, and you know, sometimes your best offense is your defense, and bullpups have done a good job of forcing turnovers. Now they just have to capitalize. 1:10
left to go in the second quarter. McPherson trails by 3. Lakin Schieferecke skips a pass right wing. Grace Pyle, she will try a three-pointer. This one misses off to the right side. Ball knocked out of bounds off of Riley Ogilvie, and the Bullpups will have it underneath with just under a minute left to go in the half.
Cassie Cook's doing a good job keeping that ball alive.
Cassie Cooks has played a lot of minutes tonight compared to some of her normal rotations. Lakin Schieferecke will inbound up top for Grace Pyle. Grace driving in. Back to Emma Ruddle, left wing for the tie, a three. That one's off the back iron. Rebound Madison Haney, and travel. And this pressure from McPherson doesn't make it easy on Ulysses, because constantly, even when they have a 2-on-2 break, a 1-on-2 break, a 3-on-2 break, there's pressure. They're speeding them up, and that is one thing you've seen, that they still haven't really settled into a half-court offense yet tonight.
No, they haven't. Everything they've been able to get has been out of transition, it seems like.
Lakin Schieferecke in the left corner, feels a double team coming, and gets the ball back up top for Emma Ruddle. 35 seconds left to go in the second quarter. Bullpups trail by 3. Entry pass for Cassie Cooks is batted around.
Great hustle by Hageman.
She grabs it while diving on the floor. Ruddle pumps on a 3, drives down the right side, back to Hageman. 15-footer from the baseline, short. Offensive rebound. Emma Ruddle turns around and draws the foul, and she will go to the free throw line for 2. The Bullpups cannot buy a bucket. Foul will be called on Luz Gomez, her second, and team foul number 5 on Ulysses.
Well, the Bullpups continue to pound the offensive glass, and that certainly has been a key to this first half. And when you're not shooting it well, you have to go to the offensive glass, and they've done a nice job with that.
Emma Ruddle steps to the free throw line and knocks down the first. So far this season, Emma is shooting 63% from the free throw line, 11 out of 17 now. Scored 7 points against these Ulysses Tigers in their sub-state final win back in early March last season, as the Bullpups pounded them defensively, and that was really an off night for this team as well, and still found a way to win. Taylor Robertson had a 20-point performance. Bullpups back to within 1. Ulysses will try a three-pointer, even though they could have held for the last shot. It's no good from Ballesteros. Gets her own miss. Floater in the lane, no good. 10 seconds left. Grace Pyle with her eyes up the floor. Into a 1-on-2. Kicks it out left corner, Emma Ruddle. Down to 4 seconds left. Back to Ruddle in the corner. 2 seconds left. Shot at the buzzer, no good. And Ulysses will go into the half here in the Roundhouse with a 1-point lead over McPherson. And Coach Kinnamon, the key to this first half, and the one stat that you can look at, that is the field goal percentage, because the Bullpups did not shoot it well. They defended well enough in that first half to be ahead, but they only shot 21% from the field, and that is what hurt them in that first half.
21% is awfully difficult to overcome, and fortunately the Bullpups did such a good job on the offensive glass. We have a 1-point game at the half, or it could have been worse.
We'll take a break and come back in our Prairie Land Partners halftime show, go through the first half box, and talk about Coach Kinnaman's boys as they've had the week off and getting ready for another tough week next week with Wichita Collegiate and Andale. We'll do that in 3 minutes. You're listening to Bullpup Basketball on 96.7 FM KBBE. To the girls, they trail Ulysses 20-19 as we are just about to start the second half. Do you have a key to the second half presented by Alliance Agency, Inc.?
Well, I think the Bullpups are going to have to continue to pound the offensive glass, and when they do, they're going to have to convert some of the follows. You know, it's great when you can get a lot of offensive rebounds, but you have to be able to put them back in the basket. So I think that's going to be a key. I have to think that, number one, McPherson is going to shoot better the second half, and, you know, if Ulysses is able to bank in 2 3-pointers again, for a total of 4 banked 3-pointers. It might be a long night for the Bullpups, but I do not think that they will be able to bank in 4 3-pointers.
Our second half start is brought to you by the Community Foot Clinic, serving Central Kansas with comprehensive foot care since 1998. 20-19 Ulysses. The Tigers will have the basketball to start this second half. Going to the basket to our right, Alyssa Castilleja, Gina Ballesteros, Luz Gomez, as well as Madison Haney and Riley Ogilvie. Immediately, the Bullpups kick the ball into the backcourt. A jump ball will be called, and hey, that possession arrow just flipped about 10 seconds ago, and the Bullpups will get it back thanks to the great hustle and effort by Riley Hett.
Well, what started that is anytime a team dribble handoffs, it's my belief that you need to jam that dribble handoff, and Bullpups did a great job of that on that play.
Bullpups trail by 1, ball for the first time in their hands here in the second half. They only scored 4 points in that second quarter, and you know that they're going to score more than 4 in this quarter. Lakin Schieferecke, Emma Ruddle, Hannah Hageman, Riley Hett, and Maggie Leaf.
Ulysses extending a little bit almost into a trap zone now.
Riley Hett to the right wing. Lakin Schieferecke will drive the baseline, tries a little 10-foot runner. That's no good. Another offensive rebound by Maggie Leaf, who had 5 of them in the first half. She's fouled from behind and will go to the free throw line for 2. That foul is on the 6'2" center for Ulysses, Riley Ogilvie, who now has 2 fouls. Maggie Leaf has done a great job, and one of the keys to her success, Coach Kinnamon, I think, is that she's always in a good position as she knocks down the first free throw.
She does a good job of finding position, and she's been great on the offensive glass tonight.
3 points for Maggie Leaf coming off of an 8-point performance last night. Second one is no good, and we are tied up at 20. 7:15 left to go in the third quarter. Alyssa Castilleja, the Tigers running. Ballesteros, their leading scorer, a 3-pointer on the right wing, no good. And there's a rebound for Hannah Hageman. That's her third. Bullpups can retake the lead. Lakin Schieferecke on the right wing, feeling the trap. And now gets the basketball back out for Riley Hett. Now it's taken away by Alyssa Castilleja. Dribbling into a 1-on-2. Nearly traveling loose. Gomez drives in, and Riley Hett is forced to foul. Team foul number 1 on the Bullpups.
Well, you said nearly traveling. She traveled. It just wasn't called. So I guess it's not traveling. You know, Bullpups turned it over against the trap a little bit, and we're going to see an early dose of Grace Pyle coming in the game for the Bullpups.
Leading the Bullpups in scoring so far tonight is Grace Pyle with 5. 3 points for Maggie Leaf, 2 for Cassie Cooks, 3 for Riley Hett, 2 for Lakin Schieferecke, 2 for Emma Ruddle, and then 3 for Cassidy Beam. It has not been a big-time scoring night for this team at just 20 points. Alyssa Castilleja, open 3, and knocks it down. Ulysses retakes the lead. Castilleja's got 9, and the Tigers lead at 23-20.
Ulysses comes out with Ogilvie on the bench to start the second half.
Into the lane, Maggie Leaf gets a nice pass, can't finish from right there, gets a 7th offensive rebound. Back to the top for Grace Pyle, as Maggie Leaf has been diving all over the Roundhouse floor. Into the lane, Emma Ruddle drives to the basket, kicks it out into the corner. Hageman now turns it over as it's taken away by Madison Haney. 1-on-1 to the other end. Grace Pyle with nice defense, but she's calling for a foul, and Madison Haney will go to the free throw line for 2. Foul called on Grace Pyle, her first. Team foul number 2, 6:18 left to go in the third. Ulysses 23, McPherson 20.
The thing that worries you about this a little bit, Jim, is that the longer you let an underdog stick around, and I think you had to consider Ulysses an underdog coming into this game, the more confidence they gain.
Madison Haney knocks down the first and knocks down the second. She has 12 points, and for those of you that weren't listening in the first quarter, she had a tooth knocked out, maybe more. And she has come back into the game and has done a terrific job for this Ulysses team.
Well, one thing, she just engaged our student section, and I'm not sure that's a wise thing to do. Just need to play the game.
Riley Hett tries a 3. It's no good. Spinning around after grabbing the offensive rebound in the lane is Hannah Hageman. She gets knocked down to the floor, and a foul will be called on Alyssa Castilleja of Ulysses. Team foul number 2, and the Bullpups will have it underneath. They continue to dominate on the offensive boards. That is 12 offensive rebounds for McPherson. Ulysses as a team only has 15 rebounds. Emma Ruddle dribbles in, kicks it out right wing. Grace Pyle drives the baseline, scooping underneath, the pass into the left corner. Riley Hett tries a 3, and this one spins in and out. Rebound for the Tigers and Kristen Edwards. They have not gotten the roll so far tonight, especially from 3. 3 out of 18. Castilleja drives and draws contact, and a floater is good from about 10 feet. Castilleja up to 11 points.
Coach Strathman's going to get a timeout here for the Bullpups.
Ulysses leads 27-20 with 5:33 left to go in this third quarter, and the Bullpups, simply putting it, they just have not been able to find answers in the shooting column, and that's the difference in this one. What goes through your mind in this type of a situation and the message in the huddle? Is it just keep shooting and you're going to find a way to get a roll, or is it trying to do something a little different?
Now, you know, as you're 3 for 18, 16 straight misses. You need to get something easy. Whether that's off a set, whether, for us against the zone, it'd be maybe off some sort of a lob. But you need to get it somewhere where you're going to the basket, where there's an opportunity to draw a foul and get to the free throw line at least.
Like you noted, Steve Sell handed us a note that said 16 straight misses for this McPherson team. Now make it 17, as Steve is hard at work over there.
For details.
He'll have a story up at midkansasonline.com. I think he's enjoying his night off. Bullpups trail Ulysses 27-20. And at one point in this game, they led 15-5. Maggie Leaf kicks out, pass right corner. Lake and Schieferecke trying to answer. That's no good. Another offensive rebound for a moment by Grace Pyle. Now she loses it, picked up by Gina Ballesteros, and the Tigers get it back. And another stop on their defensive end. Ballesteros stepping in. Crazy shot won't go. Rebound, Riley Hett fighting in and lowering her head into the contact.
As long as they continue to shoot shots like that, up 7 in that situation, the game's never over, So Grace Pyle answers with a nice runner, and McPherson's able to get into their press now.
A nice fake, and Pyle finishes on the baseline. She has 7 points. Great hands on the defensive end, and Hannah Hageman forces a turnover. 27-22 Ulysses. The Bullpups snapped an 18 consecutive miss streak there. Into the lane, Maggie Leaf kicks it out, Grace Pyle. She's got the hot hand, tries a three, and it spins in and out. A rebound on the defensive glass for Luz Gomez. Now they turn it over. Riley Hett with a steal. Hageman steps in, draws the contact, and she'll go to the free throw line for 2.
Good job. The Bullpups just sticking with it and making the steal in the backcourt and attacking the basket.
Luz Gomez will be called for the foul for Ulysses, putting Hannah Hageman to the free throw line for 2. These are her first 2 free throw attempts of the season, and knocks the first down. And Hannah Hageman has started every game this year.
First 2 free throw attempts of the season. Can that statistic be right, Jim?
It's crazy, unless she took 2 earlier. No, she hasn't taken any tonight. First 2 free throw attempts for Hannah Hageman. Well, she makes the first. So far in her career, she's a 53% free throw shooter. Second one is good. 100% on the season for Hannah Hageman. And now, the Bullpups only trail by 3, 27-24.
Bullpups really have them sped up.
Now nearly a takeaway. Grace Pyle and the Bullpups surrounding Ulysses. They want a timeout. And now, the Bullpups will be addressed with a bench warning.
Bench warning.
You've gotten a few of those, haven't you? Well, probably not very many bench warnings. You get some warnings on your own.
Not familiar with the bench warning.
You've gotten a few warnings this year.
Yeah.
You got to pick up some warnings. You got to let them know you're there.
Madison Ruddle.
Her pass is taken away. Emma Ruddle to the other end. Right hand is good. The Bullpups have cut the deficit to 1. Emma Ruddle with her first basket. She's made a couple of free throws. And the Roundhouse is coming to life. Alyssa Castillejon nearly turns it over and does. Hannah Hageman with a steal. Bullpups with numbers, trailing by 1. Kick out left wing. Grace Pyle a 3. That one misses way too strong, but kept alive on the offensive glass again. Back to Lake and Schieferecke. Another 3 is good. And the Bullpups take the lead by 2. And a timeout taken by Ulysses. They have taken the lid off the basket, and the Bullpups lead it 29-27.
Just that quick, Jim. Just that quick. Bullpups turn up the pressure defensively, turn Ulysses over, and convert that into easy baskets.
Timeout taken by the Tigers. 3:35 left to go in the third. McPherson with the lead, 29-27. Back in 30 seconds, listening to Bullpup basketball on 96.7 FM KBBE. 3:35 left to go in the third quarter. The Bullpups, after trailing by 1 at the half, they have finally retaken the lead on a 9-0 run in just over the last 2 minutes. And Coach Kinnamon, you had a feeling that the lid was going to come off that basket at some point, and because of their defensive effort, it has led to great chances on the offensive end.
That's exactly right. Bullpups turn up the pressure, turn them over. Now the Bullpups have changed to a 1-2-2 half-court trap as opposed to the full court. And they will trap all the corners, and Ulysses throws it out of bounds.
3:27 left to go in the third, and the Bullpups continue to force turnovers. That is the 12th on the Tigers. And here is McPherson's chance to step on the gas and begin to try and retake this big lead.
Exactly right, Jim.
Back into the right corner, Emma Ruddle. Grace Pyle goes back to Ruddle, nearly loses it, now taken away, and the Bullpups with another careless turnover there. Kristen Edwards with the steal. Here's Alyssa Castilleja dribbling into the free throw line. Back to Garcia. 3-ball left wing to answer. It's good. And Ulysses retakes the lead. Garcia just averages 3 points per game and knocks it down right there.
Jim, Ulysses is just playing without fear. They're just playing loose and doing a really good job.
Emma Ruddle dribbles in. Back to the right corner. Grace Pyle. Ulysses still sitting in the zone, which they've done all season. They've done tonight. Maggie Leaf in the lane, right over Riley Ogilvie and scores.
That's exactly where the Bullpups need to go.
Maggie Leaf with 5 points, 5'10" on 6'2", and Grace Pyle gets a hand on the basketball, knocks it out of bounds on the sideline, and Ulysses will inbound. Bullpups lead 31-30, 2:34 left to go in the third. Andrea Sweat will check into the game for Hannah Hageman. Sweat has not scored tonight. She's taken 3 3-pointers and has played a ton of minutes. Her first action here in the second half. Bullpups have not gone too deep into the bench here in the second half. 2.5 left to go in this third quarter, and the Bullpups trying to advance to the championship game tomorrow night to meet a familiar foe, the Olathe South Falcons, who they beat last season by 25. Shot on the baseline for Ulysses and Gina Ballesteros, but an offensive rebound. They get it back to Ballesteros. A 3. Spins in and out. Another offensive rebound. Edwards, turnaround is good. Ulysses now taking over on the offensive glass. 3 opportunities there, and they retake the lead, 32-31.
Giving the Bullpups a little dose of their own medicine by going to the offensive glass.
Grace Pyle and the Bullpups reset. Left wing, Andrea Sweat. She'll try and match him a 3, and it is good. Andrea Sweat with just her second 3-pointer of the season, and now the Bullpups back on top by 2. Andrea Sweat has no fear in taking that 3-pointer, and especially at 6'2", makes it pretty easy to shoot over defenders. Ballesteros feels the pressure, goes back to the left wing, Haney. They'll zip a pass into the corner, Garcia. Edwards, turnaround, blocked by Andrea Sweat. Edwards, a second chance opportunity. She gets her shot blocked. It lands right in her lap, and she scores. That is 5 points for Kristen Edwards there, or 4 points on back-to-back possessions. We're tied at 34. Blake and Schieferecke. She's made 2 baskets here tonight. Hands off Grace Pyle, back to the left wing, Schieferecke. Trying to get it inside. Emma Ruddle and Maggie Leaf were both in the lane for a moment. Sweat flashes on the baseline. They get it to her. Back to Grace Pyle, right wing. She'll try a 3. This one's left short. And a rebound for Kristen Edwards for Ulysses with 1 minute left to go in the third. 34-34. And if you are a Ulysses Tiger fan, then you have to feel pretty good. Nobody picks up Ballesteros as she knocks down a 3 in transition. And that is not a shot that the Bullpups can give up there.
That's just a mistake. Bullpups need to find the shooter, and didn't do it on that possession.
Right wing, Grace Pyle gives off Lake and Schieferecke. 35 seconds left to go in the third. Bullpups trailing by 3. 37-34 Ulysses. Both teams have begun to score a little bit more here in this third quarter. Ruddle nearly travels, probably gets away with one. Misses the first offensive rebound, and putback is good. Grace Pyle is fouled and won, and a chance to tie this game with 23.3 left to go in the third frame.
Great job by Grace going to the offensive glass and being able to finish through contact. Opportunity to tie. With the way that I've seen them play, it's not going to surprise me if Ulysses comes down, takes a quick shot, and the Bullpups end up with the last possession of the quarter.
It would remind you of a 2-for-1 situation, but there's no shot clock, and so that rule doesn't quite work. Grace Pyle misses the free throw, but guess who? An offensive rebound by Maggie Leaf, and Andrea Sweat knocks down a 12-footer. The Bullpups take the lead, 38-37.
Great job on the offensive glass by the Bullpups.
Down to 10 seconds left. Madison Haney, she'll check up a 3 from the right wing and rattles it in. Madison Haney's got 15 points, 3 seconds, 2 seconds. Riley Hett from half court, off the right side of the backboard, no good. And Ulysses, at the end of the third quarter, leads McPherson 40-38. The Bullpups will need a little roundhouse magic in order to come back and reach the championship game tomorrow night. We'll step aside and get you ready for quarter number 4. Be back in 30 seconds. Listening to Bullpup basketball on 96.7 FM KBBE. Start of the fourth quarter from inside the Roundhouse. Jim Joyner, joined by boys coach Kurt Kinnamon, as the McPherson Bullpup girls trail Ulysses 40-38 as we begin this fourth and final quarter. They had much better offensive success in that third quarter as they scored 19 points, but Ulysses matched them stride for stride. They scored 20, and the Tigers lead by 2 as we start the fourth quarter.
Well, it's going to come down to taking care of the basketball and getting great shots in this final quarter, and you have to think that the Bullpups are going to continue to pressure, get Ulysses sped up,
40-38. McPherson trails, and the Bullpups need some more stops on their defensive end. They've been able to get some answers on the offensive end their last few possessions, but they have to find a way to continue to get stops and get good looks on their offensive end. Immediately, Ulysses will dump it into the lane for Madison Haney to start the fourth quarter, and she bricks the shot. Rebound going the other way. Andrea Sweat hesitates back into the left corner. Emma Ruddle, and now McPherson will reset. Andrea Sweat, Emma Ruddle, Lakin Schieferecke, Riley Hett, and Maggie Leaf, the 5 on the floor. Riley Hett crosses the court to the left wing for Emma Ruddle. Sweat from downtown leaves this one a little short. Hett will save this one for a moment, but foot on the line, and back to the Tigers.
Just a little bit antsy there, and comes up short on the 3. Bullpups go. Now it's 1-2-1-1 full court with Emma Ruddle being a great athlete out on the front of it.
Against El Dorado, she got 3 consecutive steals in this same pressure and scored 6 points in about 12
seconds. Got to be close to a 10 count.
And they will get the 10 count. Great defense by the 3 at the top. Emma Ruddle, Riley Hett, and Lakin Schieferecke. And Ulysses turns it over for the 13th time. Now, the Bullpups have to capitalize on the offensive end. 7:03 to go.
Exactly. They have to find a way to play inside out. 5 for 23 from 3. Run a set play here against the zone.
Emma Ruddle
come off a flare on the backside.
Maggie Leaf had it in the lane, and they will call a reach on the Tigers.
Oh.
Foul called on Alyssa Castilleja. She bounces the basketball very hard on the floor.
Castilleja, a very fiery player, and probably, a younger, inexperienced official would have given that a technical foul.
Lakin Schieferecke inbounding on the baseline to our left. Bullpups trailing by 2. Schieferecke's inbounds pass is deflected, and now a block will be called as Madison Haney had the steal. Riley Hett called for the foul. That's her second, and team foul number 3.
Ulysses does a really good job of spreading that zone out against an inline out of bounds. That's the second time the Bullpups have had trouble against the zone on the inline out of bounds.
Yeha throws a bounce pass up the floor. Ogilvy in the corner, turns around and gives it off Luz Gomez. Tigers lead by 2. Bullpups trying to get stops on the defensive end. They throw it down to the left block for Gomez. This one is tipped. 3-pointer from the corner for Ballesteros. No good on an air ball, but they get an offensive rebound off the air ball. Now Riley Hett grabs the ball, flips it behind her head into the hands of Lakin Schieferecke. 6:20 to go. Bullpups trail by 2. 40-38. Left wing Riley Hett. Madison Haney with a hand in her face. Sweat in the corner. Drawing contact and goes back up to the top for Emma Ruddle.
It's interesting. We can hear Jerry Fithian, whose son was a post player, calling for us to throw the ball inside.
Now they do throw it inside, and Andrea Sweat has it slip off of her fingers, and back to the Tigers. Turnover number 10 on McPherson, who they've really done a pretty good job of that, especially in the second half, at limiting turnovers. They just haven't been able to get makes. Ballesteros dribbling in, absorbs some contact, but stolen away by Andrea Sweat.
Ballesteros has turned the ball over the last 2 times down the floor, and she looks tired to me, Jim.
She's their leading scorer this year at 14 a game. Pass in the left corner, Ruddle a 3 for the lead. Off the heel, no good. Offensive rebound, Riley Hett. Lakin Schieferecke and the Bullpups reset with 5:35 to go. Nobody has scored in this fourth quarter yet, which has been a trend in this tournament so far this year. Some teams that have not been able to score. Lakin Schieferecke dribbles in.
Nice
Great pass. Maggie Leaf for the left block. It's good. And a timeout taken by McPherson. They have tied up the game at 40 apiece. Maggie Leaf with 7 points. And that is just great vision right there to know that Maggie Leaf would be open and the Bullpups tie the game.
Really good penetration by Lakin, finding Maggie for the easy basket.
Maggie Leaf now with 9 rebounds, and 6 or 7 of them have been on the offensive end. And without Maggie Leaf in this game, I don't know where the Bullpups would be, because she has been the inside factor as a rebounder, and that's hard to do when you're 5'10", but she's been in a great position all night, and she's given the Bullpups a chance here. She has 7 points in the game, 9 for Grace Pyle, 5 for Andrea Sweat, 5 for Lakin Schieferecke. The Bullpups have made 5 3-pointers, but it's taken 26 attempts, and I know your philosophies are with Coach Strathman there, that if you see a 3-pointer that is open, especially for this team, they're going to take it because they are good 3-point shooters, but tonight they have not been good 3-point shooters. Some of them have been ill-advised.
And it's difficult because they're sitting in a zone, and you're going to have open looks, and being able to knock some of those down is a key, and when the Bullpups made the little run there, that was a key. So Bullpups now putting on their full court pressure. They've moved up their 1-2-1-1 press with Cassie Cooks back protecting the basket deep.
Ulysses can run the baseline, and they do. They get the ball into the hands of Gina Ballesteros. Bullpups trap. Grace Pyle gets a hand on the basketball, but Ulysses gets it right back. Haney, a deep three, no. Barely clips off the rim. Ruddle fighting for the rebound, gets knocked out of bounds and has it. Up the floor, here's Grace Pyle. Bullpups can take the lead. Tied up at 40 apiece. Ruddle from the free throw line. Might have been deflected. Offensive rebound, Cassie Cook. She throws it in. It hits the backside of the backboard and back to the Tigers. And one thing that Steve and I have said a lot this year, or Kurt Kinnamon, with your team, is trying to find ways to finish at the end. We have not had to say this about this team. And tonight, they will have to find a way to finish down the stretch, and now a foul will be called on McPherson.
Well, they are, when you haven't been in this situation very many times, this is going to be a great learning experience for these girls, knowing how to play in a tight game. And Ulysses is probably in the same boat.
Madison Haney, another three, and buries it. 18 points for Madison Haney. All of that after getting a tooth knocked out in the first quarter. She has turned around and put on one heck of a shooting performance. She's now 3 out of 8 from 3, but 5 out of 5 at the free throw line and 18 big points.
And she has a nice-looking shot. It just looks like it's going to go in with her form every time, Jim.
Lakin Schieferecke dribbling in, kicks it out in the corner, and they will call a foul on Ulysses. I didn't really see it. It was away from the ball. Fouls on Alyssa Castilleja. That'll be her third, team foul number 6. The Bullpups almost into the bonus and be able to shoot some free throws.
And I can tell you, Jim, just looking at the faces of both teams, Ulysses is more tired right now than the Bullpups. We have somebody open on the backside.
They do get it inbounded for Cassie Cooks. It was not on the backside. Grace Pyle goes back into the left corner. Lakin Schieferecke contested three. That one might have been blocked, and a rebound for Ulysses. That was a set play to get Lakin the basketball back in the corner, and the Tigers lead by 3 halfway through the fourth quarter. The Bullpups will have to find a way to make some shots here down the stretch. Castilleja, a three. It's an air ball, and a rebound on the backside by Cassidy Beam. Lakin Schieferecke takes the outlet pass and will slow down the offense. Schieferecke dribbles to the right wing. Grace Pyle back into the corner. Hageman. She hasn't made a shot tonight. 0 for 5 from the field, but has 2 points at the free throw line. Hageman, here's a three. This one's too strong. Rebound, Madison Haney. Haney fights for the possession. She's got it, and she'll dribble up the floor from left to right. Pass over the top for Clara Garcia. Ulysses in hyperspeed. A shot is up by Kristen Edwards from inside the lane. No good, but an offensive rebound again. Castilleja passes back to the top for Haney. Tigers lead by 3 with 3:20 to go. The Bullpups need answers. They continue to get stops on the defensive end, but they have not been able to get shots to go here in this final quarter. Castilleja, floater from 10 feet, no. Rebound tipped out of bounds over on the far side, and it will go back to McPherson.
Well, good example there of forcing the shot when you didn't need that necessarily, up 3. So Bullpups can take advantage here. Extending the zone a little bit is Ulysses.
3 minutes to go. Bullpups trail by 3. They need answers. Cassidy Beam drives in, kicks back out Schieferecke. Back to Beam on the right wing. She's not afraid to try a 3. This one's no good, too strong. Offensive rebound, Hageman, and a reverse layup won't go. Rebound, Alyssa Castilleja on the Tigers. 43-40, back to Haney, open 3 in transition. This one's short, and a rebound for Hannah Hageman.
Not this time.
She's got 18 points and has made 3 3-pointers. Schieferecke dribbling in coast to coast and gets the roll. The Bullpups have made it a 1-point game. Lakin's got 7, and a timeout taken by McPherson. 43 Ulysses, 42 McPherson. 2:26 left to go. At this point, is this a time where Ulysses will start to not take some crazy shots early in their possession?
I don't think so, Jim. I think it's just in their DNA. That's how they play, and sometimes if it feels like leather, they're going to let it go. So I think ultimately that's going to play into the Bullpups' advantage. It would be extremely important for Ulysses to get a great shot this time down the floor, but I think McPherson's done such a good job of getting them sped up that Ulysses may be of the opinion that, getting any shot off is better than getting no shot off. So we'll see how this plays out.
The Bullpups in a situation they have not been in all season. Down by 1 possession at the end of a game. They did not trail by a possession against Derby in their only loss. They were down by about 12 or 15 the entire game. Ended up losing by 12. Ulysses will break the light pressure out of the timeout. Bullpups keeping the pressure on up high as they're trying to trap Ulysses. Schieferecke and Emma Ruddle. Now Grace Pyle coming in. She had a steal and had a chance at a breakaway layup. They'll call her for the reach. And Grace Pyle is so amped up that she might have been able to dunk that one. She was so open. That will be
She was on her way to the basket, that's for sure. And, you know, the Bullpups in a situation now where, you know, as you're down and you're around the 2-minute mark, you can take a couple of chances because we have a couple of fouls to give here, and that's what Grace kind of did on that play.
5 team fouls on McPherson, 16 fouls on Ulysses. Ballesteros drives the baseline, and a timeout will be taken by Ulysses, and a great one there because it was about to be a jump ball. The possession error would have been with McPherson, so Ulysses will keep the basketball. 1:57 to go, 43-42. The Tigers lead, and we'll see what they do here in this possession because they've been firing off shots so quickly tonight. And do you change your DNA? Do you do something different? Do you go to a 4-corner offense, or do you put the pressure on McPherson to try and foul you, put you to the free throw line? This is a team that's 5 for 5 at the line so far tonight. This is a very interesting strategy, and I don't know if Ulysses thought that they would be in this situation tonight.
Well, my guess is that they probably weren't expecting this situation. You know, it's a great learning opportunity for Ulysses as well. I look for the Bullpups here to really deny hard on this inbounds play. Try to make a play, maybe one trap and foul out of that, and then you have one more foul until you're in the bonus.
43-42 Ulysses. The Tigers inbound on the baseline. They do get it inbounds for Kristen Edwards, and Alyssa Castilleja pulls the basketball out. 1:50 to go. Bullpups trail by 1. They're trapping again at half court. Ballesteros nearly turns it over and does. They say she walks, and that is great credit to Emma Ruddle and Schieferecke for trapping her. She ran out of real estate and walks.
Yep, good job by the Bullpups with the trap. Get the sub to the table too late, so play is going to continue.
And our official will come over here and say, we will not honor this sub. 1:46 to go, 43-42 Ulysses, but the Bullpups have the basketball. Riley Hett was sprinting over to the table, and I don't think they're going to let her come in.
No, and I think maybe the issue might be that the clock didn't start. Okay, and John Kaufman putting 1:42 on the clock.
They didn't have to pull out the replay monitors for that one.
No,
they pull out the stopwatch.
Yeah, sometimes those college games get awfully long when they have to replay everything.
1:40 to go. McPherson trails by 1. They need an answer here on the offensive end. They've done a great job on the defensive end to give themselves a chance. Hageman drives the baseline, dumps it off into the lane for Grace Pyle, who is found from behind by Madison Haney, and now Pyle will go to the free throw line for a 1-and-1.
Good dump off, and you know, now a key at this time in the game, both teams only have one timeout left, so it'll be interesting to see what Ulysses does with their one final timeout.
Grace Pyle steps to the free throw line, the leading scorer tonight for McPherson with 9. First one is good and ties the game at 43 apiece.
Steps up with great confidence, knocks it in.
Grace Pyle now with a chance to give McPherson the lead. Second one, nothing but net. The Bullpups lead by 1, 44-43.
Extreme full court pressure right now. She throws it inbounds. There's a 5 count on the play.
Great pressure defense from this McPherson team. And they say this a lot in football, but there are some things that you can't replicate in practice. Exactly. And that is the speed, the physicality, and the athleticism of this McPherson team.
Jay Billis will be proud. Got to get the ball out of the corner for the Bullpups. Too easy to trap down there. Now they need to move the basketball.
1:20 to go.
Ulysses isn't going to be able to sit in this zone now. Now they have to match up. Bullpups running what we would consider the Kentucky set as a delay, and they're just going to rely on being able to shoot free throws down the stretch.
1:05 to go, and the Bullpups lead by 1. Schieferecke trying to shake off the guard, Alyssa Castilleja. Almost could have been called for an offensive foul there.
And that's
loses the ball to the backcourt. Lake and Schieferecke has been so good in moments like this and hardly ever turns the ball over in general. And that one just hit off of her leg, goes into the backcourt, and now Ulysses has a chance with 55 seconds left. Bullpups lead by 1.
Well, I guarantee you, Jim, Ulysses isn't going to take the last shot. They're going to shoot it quick and take their chances.
Bullpups have a foul to give. Ogilvy set the screen for Gina Ballesteros. They won't use it, back to Castilleja. Now she'll get a screen. Castilleja drives down the right baseline, pulls it back into the corner. Castilleja throws up a crazy shot, no good. Rebound bounces out of bounds, but saved by the Tigers and into the hands of Grace Pyle. Down to 23 seconds left. Now into the hands of Lake and Schieferecke, their best free throw shooter. Schieferecke at half court with 18 seconds left. Back to Grace Pyle with 15, and she's fouled with 15.2 seconds left. It's a 1-and-1 for Grace Pyle. Ulysses has one timeout, and if Grace can knock down 2 here, then she'll put the Bullpups into a great spot.
Well, the way she looked at the free throw line the last time, that's the person that you want to have at the free throw line right now for the Bullpups.
First one is good.
I don't think the net even moved on that, Jim.
Grace Pyle with a career-high 12. Playing in her 31st game, just a sophomore. Second one is good, and the Bullpups lead it by 3. 15.2 left. Ulysses has a timeout, and they are in no hurry. Down to 12 seconds left. 10 seconds. Castilleja at half court. Bullpups lead by 3, trying to hang on. Castilleja works around a screen. 4 seconds left. 3 seconds left. 2 seconds. Castilleja fires a shot at the buzzer. It's no good, and the Bullpups hold. And McPherson survives and advances into the championship game tomorrow night to take on the Olathe South Falcons. McPherson 46, Ulysses 43. Bullpups win. Bullpups win. The Bullpups win it and survive. Survive and advance. Coach Kinnamon, you've seen that a few times with your team this year, and in the tournament, you had to survive on a similar play against Shawnee Heights. The Tigers got one final look, and the Bullpups hold great defense on that final possession.
Well, exactly right. You have to wonder at when they got the rebound or inbounded it with 15 seconds left, maybe if they would have executed better if they'd had a time. They had a timeout if they would have used it. They end up getting a pretty open shot, but in that situation, you need to get a shot up in time that you can foul or get an offensive rebound and get another attempt at a 3. But great job by the Bullpups down the stretch, knocking down free throws. Great job by the Bullpups amping up their defense, picking up full court, turning them over, and converting those into points.
Your team has given us a little bit of stress this year. Coach Strathman's team hadn't yet, and they survived this pressure. The Bullpups trailed almost the entire game, but how about this? When they needed it most, in the fourth quarter, they only give up 3 points to Ulysses.
Well,
and it's this team's defense that helps them win so many games, and it did here tonight.
Well, that's what's got to happen is you know, if you're not playing well offensively, there's never an excuse for not playing well defensively. And you know, I think overall McPherson's depth ends up being a factor in the game because Ulysses, you know, only played 7. McPherson was able to wear them down a little bit and did a really good job down the stretch, I think, when Ulysses was maybe a little more tired.
Well, we get a championship Saturday for the second consecutive weekend as the Bullpups will take on Olathe South. They hold on to beat Ulysses 46-43, but let's give a lot of credit to this Ulysses team because they came into a road environment a long way away from home. I don't know if they stayed the night last night.
Oh, I'm sure they stayed the night. It's a long way out to Ulysses, Jim.
But this is not an easy place to play, and you know that from experience. The teams don't come in here and give that effort all the time, and sometimes you can get a little rattled if the crowd starts to make a little bit too much noise. If you got Mike Roush on the other end giving you a hard time on the baseline, this is not an easy place to come in and win, and Ulysses almost did.
Well, they did a really good job, and I think despite the fact that they lost, Ulysses has to be pleased with how their effort was. They did enough things that they could have won the basketball game. You know, when you can hold the Bullpups to shooting 27, 28% for the game in the Roundhouse, you've done a great job defensively, and McPherson just kept plugging, and had 17 offensive rebounds.
Wow.
17 offensive rebounds being the key to the game for the Bullpups.
The Bullpups win it tonight, 46-43 over Ulysses. Coach Kinnamon, you did a great job tonight. You had a year to prepare,
well,
and you were very similar to the Bill illustrator.
A lot of athleticism out there. A lot of athleticism. So I enjoy it, Jim. Thanks for having me in. It's I look forward to it every year. It's my one time, and you know, you got that award last year. Is there any chance that I'm going to get any kind of award?
We might have to submit something.
Yeah.
I think you'll win something for all that analysis.
What do you think Nick Gosnell would have to say about that? You know, does my voice change when I'm on the radio like Nick Gosnell's voice changes when he's on the radio?
I think it's pretty similar.
Okay.
I think you sound good.
A little bit plugged up tonight, but I really enjoyed it. And for the Bullpup girls to come out with that win when it was looking dire, that was an exciting basketball game. And great crowd tonight. Great student section. So good work there, Jim.
Final score tonight, the Bullpups beat Ulysses 46-43. We'll step aside and come back and hear from Coach Strathman on our CHS Refinery at McPherson postgame show. We'll do it in 3 minutes. Listening to Bullpup basketball on 96.7 FM KBBE.